Segulis wakwego, son yowah ni ongets wagik sklay wagit ni ongidolot, oniota aga ni unga hunjoda. Zgonolunkwa sunkwa intizon, ne yonkinola ohunjade, nukchi ne swakwego ga ingawane slate, danito ni ondahage ongwa ni gula. Hello everyone, my name is Sotnyowa. I come from a Bear Clan family, and I come from the Oneida or Oneida of the Thames First Nation, located outside of London, Ontario. Today I've been given the opportunity to come in and share a story with you about family, for our Family Day celebrations that are coming up. And I want to give a big shout out and a big thank you to you for being here today and taking the time to listen to the story that I'm going to share with you. I'd also like to give a big shout out and a thank you to the Arts Council of New Westminster for allowing me to come and share my traditional story with you. And I hope you enjoy it. The story that I'm going to be sharing with you is about how my family, the Bear Clan family, we became known as a Medicine Clan family. And in that name, when I introduced myself, I said, Wagik Sklay Wagit Niwgitalot. What I had said is I come from a very specific family, and they refer to us, or were known as the bear rubbing its back on a tree. And so in my language, we're very descriptive in the way that we say things, and the way that we speak, and the way we communicate with each other. We're really like storytellers, whenever we speak in our language. And so how my family became known as a Bear Clan or a Medicine family, what had happened was, they say a long time ago, when my people were still living in villages, way long time ago. Well, actually, it hasn't really been that long. It's really only been maybe 250 years, 300 years, where my people were still living in longhouses and in villages. My people come from upstate New York, so we are known as Eastern Woodland people. And it says in this time in the Eastern Woodlands that our creator, Sunkwayantizon, came down here after he made all of creation on the earth, after he made all of the human beings and all of the animals and the birds, and put all the fish in the water. After all that, he said that, I want to go see how my children are, how they're doing. Our creator, we refer to him as our father because he made our bodies. He finished us. He finished and gave us life. And so when he came down here, he came dressed as like a beggar, is the way that it's described in the story that was shared with me, a long time ago. And it said that our creator, Sunkwayantizon, came down here in shabby, dirty, ripped clothing, like he was a traveler. And so what happened was, he went to this one village, and in this village there was these longhouses that were known to have the 3 clan families, which are represented in my nation of Bear Clan, Turtle Clan, and Wolf Clan. And so in this village, when he walked, one of the first longhouses that he went to was a Wolf Clan longhouse. And how he knew that it was a Wolf Clan longhouse was, at the entrance of the door on top was a placard or a picture or a design of a wolf's head. And so that's how he knew it was a Wolf Clan. And so Creator knocked on the side of the door there on the entranceway, and this man came out and he opened the flap that was keeping the entrance closed. He flung that flap open, and he was upset that this beggar was there. And he was like, "What do you want?" And he says, "You're not welcome here. We don't need any more of you coming here." This Wolfman clan member, he told Creator, to get out of here. We don't have any more food to share with beggars, so go on. So Creator put his head down because that made him sad, it didn't feel too good. He came down here after he made all of creation, believing that our people, all of the human beings were still treating each other in a good way. In my language or in my culture, we refer to it as the original instructions. The original instructions talk about being kind and good to each other, being gentle, being supportive and helpful, And they say that these original instructions refer to our way of being with how we interact with our family members, So this story isn't just about Ongwehoe people or Indigenous people or my nation of people. It talks about the original instructions of us as human beings. And so that's how our Creator came down here with that mindset, is he wanted to know if our people were still treating each other in a good way. So he was sad what happened to him with that Wolf Clan member. And so what happened is, he walked to another longhouse in the village, and in this other longhouse, he looked on top of the doorway, and on top of the doorway was a picture or a placard of a turtle, very similar to what's on my neck here is this turtle. And so when he looked at that, he knew, okay, this is a Turtle Clan people. We know that they're good people. They have their home on their back, so they're aware of what is intended to hold a healthy household, you know. So he knocks on the side of the door like that, and he heard this woman's voice inside the door, and this woman's voice was like, "Go on, we don't need anything. We don't want anything," you know. And so Creator knocked again, and again that voice of that woman inside was like, "Go on, I'm sleeping. I don't have anything to do with you. You know, I don't want anything to do with you. We don't have anything to give you. Get out of here." So he knocked again, and that woman opened up the door, you know, and she opened up the door, and she was really angry at Creator. But that woman of the Turtle Clan didn't see that it was Creator standing there. She had seen that it was a beggar, a man who was dirty. His skin was unhealthy looking. He looked dirty. He was unkept. You know, his clothes were torn. And that's all she seen was that. She told him to get out of here. I don't have anything for you. You know, Creator put his hand out. Creator put his hand out, you know, for some food or for some water, and she shushed him away. So Creator got really sad at that because he realized that, you know, his children weren't following the original instructions that he had intended when he had made us, created us. And so as he was walking, you know, he lost hope that his children were living in a good way and treating each other in a good way. So as he was walking, he had his head down. He was walking, and he wasn't even going to go to the other longhouse that was on his path. He was just going to walk outside of the village and go back into the forest and go back to Galunyage, Skyworld, or Creator's place. And as he was walking by the entrance of this other longhouse, and, you know, what happened was he heard a song. He heard this humming and this music that was outside. Somebody was singing, and it was a woman. A woman was singing like that, and he stopped, and they say that it grabbed his ear. That song grabbed his ear. And so he perked up because it was a really beautiful song, and the way that this woman was singing it was really beautiful. And so before he walked around to where the woman was outside of the longhouse, he looked up. And when he looked up, there was a picture of a bear clan, to represent the Bear Clan on top of the entranceway. And he knew, he was like, wow, this is the Bear Clan people, you know. And in my storytelling and in my culture, they say that the Bear Clan people were known to be very protective, to be very gentle, to be very kind, to be very good to people and to our family, you know. And so he knew, he says, this is going to be my last stop, and I'm going to see if my children, if our people are still living in a good way and treating each other, you know, with kindness. So what had happened was, when he walked around, he seen this beautiful garden. There was a beautiful garden with all these medicines and the corns, beans, and squash. In my language, we refer to the corns, beans, and squash as junhikwa. Junhikwa means our food sustenance. And so when Creator walked around the longhouse, he seen this woman, and she was tending her garden. You know, she was weeding it, and she was building up the soil and all of that, you know, to keep the plants going pretty good, healthy, and taking care of it, you know. And they say that our gardens that are around our house, that's a representation of how we keep our family and keep our house as well. You know, they say that the love that we have for our plants is can be a representation of how we love our family, you know. Because, you know, like our plants, we have to feed it by watering it. We have to weed it. We have to protect it, talk to it, sing to it. That's why that woman was singing when she was in the garden, because she said that the garden reacts to the singing. And so what I was told by these older people who had taught me some of my gardening techniques is that they say that when we sing and speak to the plants, that they become happy and they grow healthier and better. And so when Creator walked around, he seen this woman tending her garden, and she was singing. And I get a little choked up when I tell this story, because it's directly involves me, because I'm a part of this family, and I'm really proud, you know, to tell this story, because I'm like, wow, you know, that was somebody in my family, you know, that treated our Creator, you know, in a good way. And so what happened was, the woman was singing her song, and she noticed that somebody was coming, and so she peeked up and she looked, and she had a big smile on her face, and she said, "Oh, Saguli ladiska lege, Gatski wa hanyo desasli." She said, "Oh, it's you and I have met for a reason. Come here quickly, I have something for you." And so what she did was, they say that when we have visitors come to our longhouses, that we have this like a keg of water that's beside. It's like this bucket or this barrel, and it has water in it. And they say that whenever anybody comes to our house or our longhouse, that we give them a ladle full of water. And we give them that because they say that our travelers, in that time, we were walking down these paths, and these paths were so well worn that they would become dusty. And they say that dust would get lodged in our throat. And so by drinking that water, it soothes and it moistens our throat so that we can continue to talk and to share the things that we come to visit, to share those things in a good way. And so she offered him some water, and she says, "Oh, you look tired. You look like you were walking for a long time. Let me feed you." So she gave him the food that she had. She fed him, and she told him that, "You've been walking for a long time. Here, let me take your clothes while you freshen up. You bathe, you wash your face, and you wash up. I'll fix your clothes for you. And then when you're rested, we can talk about why you're here." So what happened was that really made Creator Sunquaintizo happy. It said that it made his heart happy to know that he had finally come across one of his children, some of his children that were living their life in a good way and treating their family in a good way, because we're all related, regardless of our skin color, regardless of what longhouses we come from, regardless of what countries or nations or cultures or religions or beliefs, there's at least one thing that connects us all. There's many more things that connect us, and we need air, we need earth, we need food, we need water. Those are just 4 things right there that connects all of us. Another thing is we're all human beings. We just have different skin color. We have bones, we have blood, we have a heart, we have a brain. We have organs. We have a lot of those things, and that's what connects us. There are more things in this world that connects us than what divides us, and so that's what made Creator really happy, because he realized that this woman of this Bear Clan family, seen that, there was more that connects us, and that she didn't care about giving him food. She just gave it willingly. And so because Creator was so happy, he gave this woman a gift. And one of the gifts was that they say that Creator pretended to get sick. He got ill, and what happened was when he got ill, the woman, seeing that he wasn't feeling too good, so she encouraged him to go to bed, to go lay down to get better. So as Creator was laying there in the bed, he looked at this woman, at this Bear Clan woman, and he told her, he said, "I know what's wrong with me. I can tell you what will make me better. You have to go into the forest and grab these plants." So the woman said, "Yes, I'll do that. I'll take care of you. You're my guest. You're in my family. You're in my family's home. You're now a part of my family. So I'm going to take care of you as if you were my brother, as if you were my nephew or my son." So Creator told her what plant that she had to go get. So she went out to the forest, and she harvested it, and she came back, and he told her how to prepare this medicine, how to dry it out, how to grind it, how to prepare it so that it can make him better. So she made a tea, and she gave it to him. Creator drank it. He went to sleep, and he woke up, after pretending he was sick. And he was feeling really good. And he looked fresh. He started to look healthier. And she told him, "Oh, you look really fresh. You look really healthy and happy now. That tea really worked for you." Creator's like, "Yeah, I feel really good." Yawango, in my language, we say thank you, or a big thank you, is yawango. And that's what the Creator said to the Bear Clan woman. Yawango, Yawango nukchine onunkwat. He said, "I thank you very much for the medicine that you made me." And then what happened is Creator wanted to give another gift, to this Bear Clan woman, and so he pretended to get sick again. It was a different kind of illness this time, and so what happened is he told the Bear Clan woman what kind of plant to go gather, where to gather it, what time of the day, how much to gather. Gave her details on this medicine plant, and he sent her into the forest. She come back a little time later, and he told her how to prepare it, how much to prepare, how much to give him, how to administer it to him. So she made it, and she gave it to him, and then he got happy and healthier. And so what happened was he got healthy and happier again, and so he that was Creator's gift. That was Creator's gift. This story goes for a long, long time. It says that he got sick 7 times. That he got sick, and it was 7 medicines that he had given her, to make him be healthier and happier and better. And so what had happened was, after a time, all these medicines came to this Bear Clan woman, and then on that 7th time, the Creator. It says in this story that the Creator came in his true form. That he transformed into his true form. And they say that our Creator looked shiny, and that he looked fresh. And in my culture, they say that my people, we were giants. We were giants, and we were really tall, you know. And so they say that Creator became in his true form, that he was tall and he looked shiny, fresh, young, and healthy. And that he had said to the Bear Clan woman, he said, "Thank you, my child." He said, "Because you had taken care of me, this was the gift that I have given you to say thank you. And I'm giving you the gifts of the medicines of the earth and of the planet and of the forests. And so whenever any of your people get sick, that you share this medicine for the people." And he says, "Because of all the other longhouses, your longhouse was the one that took care of me. You brought me in like I was your family member." And so he says, "From now on, your people and your clan will be known as Wugit Sklay Wugit, a bear that's rubbing its medicine on a tree." And so that's how my clan family and my family has been known, you know, for hundreds, thousands, millions of years. I don't know. I was never there, but I just know that it's been a really long time that this story's been here. And so that was the gift that Creator gave my family. You know, that's why they call us a medicine clan family. It's because we know the medicines. And so I just want to say thank you, you know, for you spending your time here with me and listening to this little story. It's brief. You know, this story goes for a really long time. There's more detail in it. And I encourage you to continue to learn, you know, more about the traditional stories of the indigenous people of whose territories that you're on right now, you know. I also like you to remember that the importance of family. You know, family is really important, you know. Some of us come from really good families. Some of us, you know, don't come from really good families, you know. But I want you to know that there's always somebody out there. There's always a group of people. There's always friends and people that you can call your own family that will make it important and beautiful and special for you. You know, I also want to say let's keep our prayers and our minds open. You know, for the children. You know, for every child matters. You know, for the 215, the 7,000, over 7,000 children. You know, in residential schools. Let's be mindful of that family as well. You know, in closing, I want to say, "E zugonalunkwa, sunkwa entizo ne yonkinola, nukchi ne swakwego ga ingawane slate ne Arts Council of New Westminster. E zugonalunkwa, sunkwa entizo ne ii, ne onunkwa ne swakwego ga ingawane slate, gonalunkwa, daneto." What I had said is that, again, I have a responsibility to thank you, the people who are here. I thanked our Creator and our Mother, the Earth, for all of you being a medicine, and I thanked me for being here and being a part of this family that we're creating here with you now. And I thanked the Arts Council of New Westminster. Thank you very much. Daneto. Konalunkwa.